Personally, I wouldn't fake it till I make it. I'd rather make it than fake it.
You can fake it in terms of confidence if you are actually working towards getting your confidence right.
You faking it is you lying to yourself, not doing any work, being lazy, starting at the top.
I don't believe that at all, that you can fake it to gain contract in the world we're living in right now. That I'm not going to agree with.
My opinion, you can actually, because for a businessman, there's a thin line between you calling it cheating and faking. If you deliver, you didn't fake it. But if you don't deliver, then you faked it.
So the F in F boy stands for fake.
Keeping up with Jonses, yeah? You're basically Jonesy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dr. Toves Corner. Welcome to another session of ScatterYarn. On this episode, we are going to be discussing a constant theme in adulthood, which is fake it till you make it and keeping up with the Joneses. I've got friends of mine with me on this episode, and we'll be taking you on our perspectives on what we think, what we feel about fake it till you make it. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below or on our socials at Dr. Toves Corner on Instagram, Facebook, and X, and at It's Dr. Toves Corner on TikTok. Subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast on audio platforms too. How are you doing, Stan?
I'm doing well. I appreciate the invite.
Of course. You're welcome. And Nelson, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for the invite.
Lovely. Good to see everyone. Glad to see everyone. All right. So let's go straight into it. Today we're discussing faking it till you make it. And we'll also be discussing keeping up with the Joneses. We know that once you cross that age of 18, 19, even some people start younger, there are times whereby people start demonstrating who they would like to be. You know, those that are aspiring musicians, they'll start buying all the expensive clothes and probably wearing some fake jewelry and stuff like that. Those that are business people, they'll start wearing, they'll start wearing suits and, maybe hiring cars just to show that they have some level of success. So what do you think about all of this? I'm going to start with you, Nelson. What do you think about fake it till you make it? Is it worth it? Is it a real thing? Is there a benefit to it?
Fake it till you make it. I think it depends on the context where you're looking at it from, because honestly, it could be bad and could have its benefits. So yeah.
Let's start with the benefits.
Personally, I wouldn't fake it. So with the benefits, personally, I wouldn't fake it till I make it. I'd rather make it than fake it. but then so what are the benefits? Yeah, because if you're faking it, you're not being real to the people around you. So basically you're pretending to be what you are not. So that gives you the room to actually get closer to what you want to be, in the sense that if, for instance, you're faking it to be a businessman, you obviously need to act the part. So you need to know some things that businessmen know. You need to do some things they do naturally to be able to make your act believable. So that being said, that naturally gives you the right mindset to be able to actually be a businessman if you're doing this for just reasons.
Yeah.
But if you're just faking it to deceive people around you, and you probably might never make it, because you lose a lot along the line. So yeah. Right. Let me just leave it at that.
No, okay, no problem. And Stan, what's your take on fake it till you make it?
Well, you mentioned, if you're 18, 19, you're trying to get to a certain point, you see or you aspire to be someone. I'm going to put this in different contexts right now. First of all, when it comes to faking it till you make it, I think it has to do with confidence in general. You want to build that behavioral character. You want to be able to, express yourself in public. You want to be able to meet up with your peers. You want to be able to you want to be able to primarily give your ideas to a certain situation or conversation, to say. Now, if I bring this back to, say, a work setting, it also talks about confidence. Yeah. If I'm going to hire you to come do a job for me at work, I don't expect you to fake it until you make it. I'm hiring for a job because you said you know how to do the job. So when you get in there, obviously, I'm going to give you the training you need, onboard you in the company. But after that, I expect you to deliver. But at some point, if you're faking it, thinking that you're going to make it at some point, we're going to catch up, because it's going to show in your performance. When I do a performance review, I'm going to see it, right? So that's one part. So I believe, yes, you can fake it in terms of confidence, and you're going to build that confidence, and you're going to get there if you are actually working towards getting your confidence right. in the other context, if you're faking it and you're not putting in the work to be better, then just like my brother said, Nelson, it's going to catch up to you. I mean, you can't, nothing really hides under the sun for so long. Your truth will definitely come out. Your character, the way you talk, your performance and everything will show it. So that's my take on it for now.
So basically you're suggesting that fake it till you make it. The benefit is if you're trying to like improve your confidence. But that's what both of you have basically said. You can fake it to improve your confidence or to gain some benefits, even though you're not there yet. Would you call that cheating or lying? Is it not the same thing? If you're faking it, you're pretending to be something that you're not. Is that not lying? Is that not cheating?
So how do you build your confidence if you're not actually practicing in the real world? Are you going to just build your confidence by talking to yourself in the mirror like, oh, you got this, you can do this? It doesn't work that way, right? But you have to be in the real world to build your confidence. If you're going to be a public speaker, you're not just speaking to people you know. You're primarily speaking to people you don't know, people you've never met before. You don't know what that impact will be. So I want to build my confidence. I'm not cheating by trying to fake my confidence, but I'm working on it, right? I'm not lying that if I tell you, yes, I can talk to 10 people in the room, and I don't practice and get in there and use that as a stepping stone, how do I build that confidence?
Right.
I'm not going to build it. I'm just going to be where I'm at. I'm primarily not going to improve or increase in my knowledge or my ability to public speak, right? Let's take this, for example. We're doing a podcast right now. We're talking about this. If I didn't have anything to say in terms of fake it till you'll make it and just listen to what you say and then repeat what you said in a different version, no, that's lying. That's cheating. If someone isn't smart enough, you're not going to catch up on that, right? So fake it till you make it in terms of building your confidence. It's not cheating in my perspective, my opinion, and it's not lying as well, but it's primarily just having that real life example, or should I say real life training, let me put it that way, real life training and development to be better at public speaking.
Right. So basically there's a distinction between practicing and faking it. So faking it will be lying, while practicing it's allowed to build your confidence and and become a better person, right? That's interesting. So Nelson, we lost you for a few seconds there. What we're able to establish so far was that there was a difference between practicing the skill, practicing your confidence, you get better, and actually cheating. And is that your perspective as well? That there's a difference between, practicing?
100%, 100%. Yeah. 100%. Because practicing is you trying to grow. You've accepted the fact that you are not as good as you want to be or you ought to be. So you're putting in the work. But you faking it is you lying to yourself, not doing any work, being lazy, starting at the top. And life works with principles. So if you want to really get something, you have to use life principles to get it, except you believe in whatever it is you believe in. So
all right, fair enough. The next question I have is, what about the business people that try to fake it till they make it? They hire offices, they hire a big car, they inflate their CVs, their portfolio, the kind of projects that they've worked on, when really and truly they have not worked on it. Stan, what do you think about that? Is that practicing, or is that lying as a business person trying to inflate? For example, we know about the alleged case of Donald Trump in New York right now. They said he inflated all of his assets to be a potential billionaire, when in reality his assets were not worth it. Is that cheating, or is that practicing till you become what you want to become?
So before I respond to that example, but if I understand your question very well, you're talking about business folks, up and coming. I want to assume you're talking about up and coming business folks, right?
Up and coming business folks, yeah.
So up and coming business folks, if they've never really worked in a project, then that would be lying, right? But if they have worked in a certain project at some point, I want to assume they've done some sort of market research. They forecasted the market to understand that things are not always going to remain the same price in general. And if they are renting and or buying expensive cars on loan or whatever, well, then that's just a lifestyle they're trying to live, knowing that they cannot sustain it. Hence why they're inflating everything for the up and coming. Now, if they're a little bit established, right, then I want to assume that, again, they have gotten to a certain point in their life where they can actually afford those. So primarily cutting your coat or cutting to your size, right? And because of that, they understand the market more than the up and coming folks, right? They will tell you, they will talk to you, they will literally show you your documents and or data to support everything you're saying. I mean, if you do a proper research, you can gather data.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to your example. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you finish it. I'll come back.
Yeah. Let's go to your example of Donald Trump, right? I don't know the guy, except he was the president at some point. If he inflated his assets and everything to gain some sort of benefit, and people actually took him for what he said and seen what he's done, then there's some sort of truth to that. Now,
why is
he
that
know
if allegedly he made things up, and that's what they're taking him to court in New York for
right?
Inflating his assets and valuing his properties for more than they actually were. So if you're suggesting that him, inflating it on paper is now a truth, then
so you're saying he inflated his properties and how much you're worth.
He was reported to have done that, yes.
Right. I want again, assumption. I want to assume he hired people to do that. They knew better. They could have told him and advised. And if they did that and he said, no, I don't want your advice, just do exactly what I say, then that's cheating. That's lying. That's primarily faking it. But he made it. He faked it and made it. But then, like I said, there is nothing can be hidden under the sun. But now he's been caught because he can't live up to the expectations anymore. And now it's out there and he's being taken to court. So if you're faking it and you're not doing everything to actually actualize that goal you're looking at, somehow, somewhere, someday, data will show you don't know what you're talking about. And then they're going to come for you. It's a system that works, right?
Okay. And Nelson, what's your take on all of this? Businessmen overinflating just to gain favors and make it. What's your take on that?
Sorry, just a second. Before we go into that, just to understand this question again, businessmen primarily doing all this to gain contracts and all that.
And clients.
That's a tough one to say, if I'm being honest with you, because thinking about this more clearly, you must have something to show for it to get that contract.
Yes, there is something, but they are inflated. There is something, there is some base,
right,
but it's not as much as.
But there are specialists in different divisions. So if you're trying to gain a contract, right, you have your project managers.
Yeah.
So let's take, for example, I'm an upcoming guy.
Yeah.
I'm looking to gain a contract with yourself. I come to you. Oh, this is what I can do, blah, 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 depending on whatever contract it is, right? Yeah. I don't think you're going to be the only one looking at whatever documents I'm actually presenting to you, whatever data I'm presenting to you. You would have your team of project managers. Yeah. You would have your team of people doing your research and doing a background check on me, right? So
not really,
not necessarily.
Sometimes, let's assume sometimes, but in the world of technology right now, you can't really hide certain things.
Yes, you can.
Certain things, not all of it, but certain things, right?
Yes, you can, because at the end of the day, we also know that most things are tick box exercises. If they want to, get our contract as quickly as possible,
right?
We just say we've checked, and that's it. So
then whoever is awarding that contract to me is an accomplice then, because you're not doing your due diligence to make sure that I'm actually coming proper to you.
Yes.
So it's a tough one in that one, because I don't believe in that at all, that you can fake it to gain contract in the world we're living in right now with every resource is available to us. So that I'm not going to agree with. I'm going to say, no, you cannot fake it to get a contract.
All right. No problem. That's your opinion. That's fine. Yes, what do you
think? My opinion, you can actually, because we've seen people sell football clubs that don't exist. We've seen people sell airports that don't exist.
Yeah.
For $240 million. You get so if they did this, I'm talking maybe 5-10 years ago. So in the world of it,
and that person did it to a well-known business person. They did all their due diligence, check the internet, check website. But yes,
sold players to clubs in Syria.
Yeah.
Players that don't exist. So somebody doing that 5 years, 10 years ago, with the knowledge we have now, AI assisting everything right now, I think you can actually fake it to get the contract.
Yeah. So the thing is, the question is that cheating? Is that lying? Or is that practicing till you actually become a bona fide contractor?
So for a businessman, there's a thin line between you calling it cheating and faking. Because if I'm inflating my portfolio to sub for contracts, I probably believe in myself that I can do this. I'm a specialist in what I do. But I'm selling myself. So I'm selling my craft.
Right.
So sometimes you might be allowed to advertise yourself whichever way you might deem it fit, as long as you can back up what you are doing. You gave us this prototype and you can actually make it real.
Okay.
I do not think that is faking it if you say you inflated his portfolio. But you faking it is when you do not have the prerequisite knowledge about anything. All you just had is probably face value knowledge. But if you deliver, you didn't fake it because you have completed the transaction. But if you don't deliver, then you faked it. So
right.
then,
And I can see I can see your facial expression. Right, go ahead.
So you made a good point. You said you fake it and then you deliver. So there's a prototype. You showed something for it, even though you were faking and inflating your products, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But there was a substance you showed for it. Hence why I say you cannot fake it when there's nothing to show for it. It's only going to be someone who may be completely oblivious to the world we're in that would say we're not going to go check. Now, let's take your example of whoever sold the stadium. I want to assume that was way more than 10 years ago.
No, it's less than 10 years, actually.
It's less than.
It's less than 10.
But I don't know the story, but let me ask you this.
The story is about, there's this guy that was on FBI's most wanted list.
Yeah, most wanted list.
Yes.
Was there a stadium or was there not a stadium?
Not a stadium, it's a scammer, basically.
He showed something.
Showed
like a picture.
I think he showed the club.
So because and that I
think it was Arsenal you tried to sell.
Okay.
And it was a successful transaction actually.
Because that stadium actually existed but never belonged to him. So that was a con in general, right? That's one thing. The other person, what was the other example story that you mentioned about? I don't know anything about sports.
He sold the player to Syria A, like a team in Syria A.
I don't know anything about sports, so I can't really comment on it, but I can say for a fact that you can create someone to be that player and say, oh, that's the person, but they really don't exist, right?
They don't exist,
Now, let me give you an example of something. There is a movie, I don't know how long ago this was, and I believe it was Matthew McConaughey that was in it, and they were selling gold, or he was trying to, get people to buy into his company that they're actually getting gold from a certain country. That country is known to actually have gold, but wherever he was digging, he never found gold. But people bought into that because they knew that there's been history of getting gold out of that country, right? And people started buying into it, and he made money, and the person he was working with was the one to say, oh, just do it like this and people will buy into it. And people did that. If I was in that, should I say, scenario, I'm probably going to believe that there's gold because I know that country has gold.
Right.
But he never told anybody that wherever I'm digging right now, there's no gold, but there's gold in the country. So obviously he was actually faking it, but he had a prototype of data to show that that country produces gold.
Right.
But he was faking it, but never found gold. Now that's the faking it when you actually have substance, hoping to get something and then, pay everyone back, but there was nothing, right? So that is completely different. Now, if you are trying to sell me a project to buy and there is no prototype, there is nothing, there is no example, nothing, that's just a con.
You wanted to say something. I saw you
because I agree with what you're saying, but there are levels to this thing. There are levels of fake. You see, for instance, like Nike footwear, Nike Dunks. I don't know where they're made. They're probably made in China or wherever for Nike.
Yeah.
So Nike gives them specification and they tell them what they need them to give them. So they deliver this quality to Nike. So somebody goes to those people that made that for Nike and tells them, make the same thing for me, exact same thing. Just reduce the quality of products you are using slightly, not too much, just slightly. So you bring that, but you don't take it to where Nike shops are. You take it to normal people because there are classes to this.
Yeah.
We used to have the rich, middle class, and
Yeah.
So the rich obviously will buy from Nike.
Yeah.
Then the middle class obviously will buy from this guy because it's giving you Nike, but it's not Nike. I don't know how to explain it. Everything.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Everything is there.
Yeah.
If you check online, if you check the barcode, you see the exact shoe online, but it wasn't from Nike store.
Right.
Then there's still somebody else somewhere that didn't go to China that is doing his own and is writing Nike, Nake. so there are levels to it.
Yeah. So that brings me back now from all what has been said, and I've understood, or the way my brain is compartmentalizing this, is that if you have substance to back up your inflation, you're not faking it. If you have no substance, then you're faking it. Is that the summary of this conversation?
You're playing con. If you have, I don't think it's not black and white like that.
But that's the information I received from this conversation so far.
So primarily, we're faking the fact that we just said it's not black and white, so we got to get more data.
No, I'm just asking to understand. That's all I'm doing. I just want to ask one question. We said fake it till you make it. What is make it? I'll start with you, Nelson. Yeah. What is make it?
Yeah, I thought about that too. Because it's quite relative. Because making it means you're successful, right?
Okay. Successful in what?
In what? No, in whatever now, because there's no context to it.
So successful in whatever you were trying
whatever it is you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
Yeah, or not necessarily trying to achieve, just sometimes you stumble on success. That's why I'm saying it's quite relative. You can't just say this is what make it actually means. Yeah. So for personally, I think people decide what making it means to them.
I'm not asking people, I'm asking you. I'll come back to you, Stan. What does make it mean to you?
Well, make it. Well, you've made exactly where you were faking. So if we put it in the context of confidence, you built your confidence, you made it.
If we are saying faking it and you make it is not necessarily a bad thing, as long as you build your confidence, you're able to achieve what you want to achieve, because that's the definition of success that we said. If you make it, then you've succeeded. Okay. So let's take it back to more practical examples. Can you fake it till you make it in relationships? Is where I want to take this conversation to now. So I'll give an example or a scenario. There are some people that they only in relationships in the festive period, either Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. That's when they'll try to get a girlfriend or a partner, so that when they go to their family homes for those ceremonies, they have someone to bring to the table. And so they're not looked at as people that have an alternative lifestyle, or people that don't want to settle down, or people that don't want to have a family. And sometimes, maybe after a month or 2 months, those people actually become partners in the long run. Is that also faking it till you make it, or is that just normal courtship? What do you think in this situation? I will start from you, Nelson, because you're thinking a lot. So maybe you have something.
Start with Stan.
All right, Stan, they've thrown the ball back to you.
Again, another disclaimer. At no point in time have I considered myself worthy to speak on relationships. Just disclaimer on that.
All right.
I don't, if I'm being honest, I really don't know. And I'm very comfortable to say I really don't know, because a lot of people will rather just fabricate a story than say they don't know. I don't know of anyone who's done it. The only aspect I can speak to regarding this will be friends with benefit. And I'm not talking about sexual benefit. I'm actually talking about material benefit.
Oh, okay.
So you have people, both men and women, where at some point you're talking constantly because there's an end game. It's a long con. They want you to either help them do something. right? And then the moment they get it, you know, that week they're still talking, or 2 weeks later they're still talking, and all of a sudden on the third week, everyone's super busy. Oh, I haven't heard from you. Oh, I'm sorry. I've just been so busy with work. But I will get back to you. And then conversation actually reduces, right? And then, you know, a season comes again, just like you said, maybe the holiday season. And we know that once that comes again, everyone wants a gift, right? Material gift. And then a conversation comes back. Now, in my opinion, you know, it's either they know whoever is not benefiting from that is okay with, okay, if you come back and just want to talk to me all the time because you're going to get something, well, I'm going to go with that. Maybe something's going to happen with that. Some generations will call that simping, which I don't understand the meaning of that, if I'm being honest with you, but I've heard the word. So yeah, I guess it depends. I don't think you can fake it till you make it in a relationship. It's either you're in it or you're not. If I should go biblical in a way, I mean, the Bible talks about it's for this reason a man and a woman will leave their house and become one, right? So are you leaving your house as a man and as a woman to go fake it until you become one, or are you actually putting the effort to becoming one?
Put a pin on it. I'll get back to you on that one.
All right.
Go on. Yeah,
But yeah,
Nelson,
no.
yeah, go on.
So I don't think it really, I don't, because I've not really seen examples and I really cannot say, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's a reality that can actually happen.
Yes, that's a nice cop out. Nelson, what do you think about this?
So you see, yeah, you can fake it till you make it in a relationship. Like my brother did. Let me to give a disclaimer. I don't think I have enough expertise to talk about relationship because people are dynamic, people are unique. So there are two in my head right now. There are two things I want to talk about because sometimes if a relationship is where two people come together, and most times trust is always involved. So you can like lean on or rely on this person. So if you're faking it in that situation, you're totally wrong because you're not going about it the right way. But now looking at it from an objective point of view, I'm a guy, so I'm going to be honest. Sometimes you see brothers faking it because the person himself is fake, is not true to himself, and the person is deceiving too. Most times, more often than not, is fake. Because you see a brother that doesn't have the car, is trying to impress. He borrows a car from another brother to take a girl out. It's not a bad idea if you're doing it out of gesture just to give her a nice time.
Yeah.
And but if she doesn't know you went through all of that process, you borrowed the car and you did this, then you're faking it, obviously.
Yeah.
So in that situation, if she's impressed or she's caught up by little material things and she's very fickle, faking it can help you make it.
Okay.
But if the person is real to herself and she's true to herself, then she will see through your
facade. So
sometimes I would say you shouldn't fake it till you make it in a relationship because it's going to come up and bite you in the ass. So yeah, but people do it, and this is a conversation where I've.
So basically, the F in F boy stands for fake. Right?
Yeah,
No
you
problem.
can use it. You can use it like that.
No problem. Stan,
you can use it like that.
Yeah, Stan. What do you think?
Well, I don't agree with a comment you made regarding if, as from a man's perspective, if the man's faking it to impress a girl, you said the girl may also be faking it. I don't think that's it. I think it depends on the lifestyle that girl prefers.
Yeah.
If as a man goes and meets a girl and starts to fake it, then he may have observed her lifestyle. And in order to woo her in 100%, he then goes and lives that lifestyle. So she can see that, oh, he fits into my box. Oh, tall, dark, and handsome with a Benz, earns X amount of, I don't know, X amount of dollars a year, or whatever it may be, right? So I don't think the girl may be faking it. I think she may have a preference in terms of a lifestyle. And because she has a preference of a lifestyle, as a man, once you observe that, then you want to actually live that lifestyle, even though you don't have the means to live that lifestyle. So that would be my opinion in that part. And I don't agree that you should ever fake it in a relationship to make it. I honestly do not believe anyone involved in a relationship should fake it to make it. If you want to go into it, if you know you're ready for it, if you're matured enough to handle everything that comes with it, go for it. You're not going to date yourself, right? So they're not always going to think the way you want them to think. And if you try to control how they're thinking, be it a man or a woman, I believe that's manipulation in a very demonic way, I would say. So I do believe that I don't think two parties can fake it in general, except they are just both con artists. But one person will always fake it more than the other. So, and it's always about lifestyle.
Nelson, you're grading. Do you have anything to add to this? Or
No, it's accurate. It's all about lifestyle, because really, that this person is faking it doesn't necessarily mean this other person is fake. Yeah. So you might just be unlucky to be caught up in the web of life and meet the wrong person.
So let me move the conversation a little bit again into another scenario, right? We know that there are some people that don't have the confidence to, approach whoever they want to be in a relationship with, right? And that's one of the reasons why dating apps are made in the first place. So, they text their way into becoming confident before actually going out to meet their potential partners and potential dates. Would that be considered faking it till you make it as well? Or what do you guys say to that? Or would you say that's something else?
Well, that's completely something else. I don't think it's faking it till you make it. Confidence is different. You can't fake that confidence if you don't have it, to be honest with you. How long can you keep that facade, right? Maybe they just would rather text than meet. A lot of people would rather text you nowadays and actually give you a call, right? So I don't think it's faking it till you make it. They may just rather text and meet in person.
Right. And Nelson, what do you have to say about that one?
The way you put it is totally different. It's not faking it. You can say the person is faking it depending on the type of conversations they're having within that text.
What type of conversations will be considered faking?
Yeah, so conversations that might portray you as a catfish. For instance, you don't have a 9 to 5, you don't have a job, and you realize this person you're talking to would rather be with somebody that has a 9 to 5 and has a job. So you restrict conversations from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because you're claiming to be busy. So this person has the idea that you're actually going to work. When whereas you don't even leave your house, you're probably a stripper. So so humans are crazy. So so in that type of situation, you could be faking it. But because we are just talking, and I'm not saying you, I could be an introvert. I might just be scared of meeting new people.
Right.
So basically, I want to take my time.
In that kind of situation, it's not faking it, it's just being an introvert.
No, you could say that.
Okay. So let's take it to keeping up with the Joneses, right? Is it worth it to keep up with the Joneses? Is that also faking it till you make it, or how do you see it?
I got one word for that. No, it's not worth it. It's a pressure you don't want to have. Keeping that lifestyle, as if you do some research, you would see, has driven some people to suicide, right? You really want to be at a certain point, or maybe you see your friends doing certain things and you just believe, you want to be part of the crowd. And then you begin to do things that you're not supposed to get done. You lose yourself, you lose your identity, to say. No one can tell if this is who you are. Your words carry no weight. You're just existing, you're not living. What I'm trying to say is, primarily, you're not living the right way. You're trying to imitate something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Or trying to impress people that are not really, that don't
exactly
really care about
so
what you're doing.
Exactly. So I guess in that situation, I would ask that person, why are you trying to impress that person? Why are you trying to impress the group? what impact will that have on you? Is that validation you're looking for? And if you do get the validation, where does it take you? You go back and then you scream in your pillow because you know that you can't afford that lifestyle, right? Then you wake up in the morning, go out and smile, but you come back and you're literally drowning inside. So if you know you're not able to keep up with a certain lifestyle, just keep up with the lifestyle you can keep up with, I would say. That would be my thing. It's
but
not worth it.
What if their happiness is not in what their actual lifestyle will be? They rather,
Then,
fake it, pretend to live the other lifestyle to be kind of happy in their own mind, not in reality. In their own mind, they are just kind of happy and satisfied doing it. Like you said, even though they're screaming at night, they actually have nothing in their bank account, but they think there is that perceived happiness, even though in reality that does not match up.
then they're not truly happy. There's a famous poet, I forget his name right now, and but there's something he said: those who seek joy or those who seek happiness are not truly happy. If I'm faking that life just because I want to be happy, how am I happy? That's not true happiness. That's just a facade, like I said. It's just a shell. And then at some point when reality kicks in, you would know what's up. I'm pretty sure we have watched the Vampire Diaries here, right? What happens when they don't want to deal with emotions? They say they flip up the switch, right? And then the moment they flip on that switch, everything comes back rushing in and they're overwhelmed, right? So at that moment, it may be temporary joy or temporary happiness, but when reality hits, some people take your lives. Some people, they may work on themselves and become better. Some just can't handle it, right? So yeah, I don't think that's true happiness. I just think it's very fleeting, and then you could wake up it's no longer there. Because, for example, let's assume both of you have a certain lifestyle, and I like it, and I want to do it, and whatever. What happens if we're always together? I'm trying to meet up to your lifestyle. I'm faking it, and I seem happy. But what happens when life happens, and maybe one of you move away, maybe both of you moves away? What happens to that? Then would I say I want to up and leave and move to wherever you are? I can't. So, I mean, that's why I say it's not true happiness, because reality will kick in at some point, and you will cry more than usual.
So keeping up with Jonses, yeah, you're basically Jonesing. Because the Joneses you're keeping up with, you don't know if they're even being conservative themselves. And the lifestyle they are living that seems extravagant is the barest minimum for them. So you're struggling to keep up with somebody that is doing his own barest minimum. That's foolish. Probably to use that one. But keeping up with the Joneses, like you were saying something about happiness. Yeah, is this person happy? Because I want to use an instance like there are things that we call assets, like housing, buying landed properties. Sometimes you might want to stay in areas that help your mindset. Have value. You're around a certain type of people, not necessarily for yourself. If it's a family, in a family setting, not necessarily for yourself, but for the offsprings, for the young ones, because you want them to grow up in a certain type of environment to help boost their mentality and give them a perspective towards life. So you still have to be reasonable whilst you are doing all of this, because like Stanley said, it will catch up with you in the long run. So if you are being strategic and planning, you might not be able to afford this thing now, but you are doing it for some certain reasons. You can afford it, but it's stressing you. But the benefits you are getting from it compared to not doing it is so it's relative. But if you are being fake, for instance, now, like the instance I gave is you're doing it for personal growth. You're doing it for your little ones. You're doing it because you want to be in an environment where you can actually connect to wealth. Because
sacrifice.
Yeah. So the people you interact with might help bring you up 1-2 conversations and you have a business deal just because of the environment and the people you are around.
Yeah.
So it has its value to it. But if you're doing it from a perspective of my friend stays in that environment, so I should be there too. Not because you are actually being smart, you are plugging yourself to anything. You are trying to keep up with the society to strain you seriously. Because the mentality, you don't have the right mentality about life in the first place.
True.
So
Right.
yeah, but if you're faking it to achieve something, and you're faking it actually puts you in a better light,
It's fine.
So
it might be fine.
So your first example, I don't, if I'm being honest, your first example, I don't think that would be classified as keeping up with the Joneses. I would classify that as actually making sacrifices for not even for just your future, but just like you said, your kids, generational, building a legacy. Let's tag that as building a legacy, right? But I believe you can actually do that. Whoever is doing that, I believe they can actually keep up, right? And that's why they're doing that, and that's why they're trying to actually be in a certain environment, a certain society for their kids, right?
They are not there yet, but they are very close.
Exactly. So I don't believe that actually trying to keep up with the Joneses, because you're not trying to compete with anyone, right? Keeping up with the Joneses, in as much as it's very silent, you're competing in there.
Right. So
if I'm being honest with you,
I'm
you're
just
competing.
I'm going to take it on to the next question I had. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Sorry about that. Because three of us, we kind of grew up in a society where I think even Nelson mentioned it. You need to have landed property and houses. Everyone has that, that mindset. You need to have your own house. You need to buy a land. What about people that are not in a position to actually, buy a land or build a house, but there's that societal pressure on them to want to build a house, to want to buy land. So automatically, society is kind of putting a pressure on you to keep up with the Joneses, because if you don't have the money or resources to buy those land and houses, and you're doing all you can, everything you can to make sure at the end of the day, you buy a house or buy a land, whether you can afford it or not. First of all, I don't like the word afford, because afford is only for poor people. Rich people don't say afford. But whether
they
you
acquire,
yes, whether you can acquire those properties or not, there's a pressure. So are we saying that society is also kind of making people keep up with the Joneses, or do you have to kind of change your mindset from the cultural perspective? What do you guys?
That's where principle comes into play, right? We're all in different time zones right now. We're all in different regions, right? However, we operate in the regions. You need to set your own priorities. You need to set your own principles. If society is saying by 25, I need to have a house, a land, blah, 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 what has society contributed to me having that? Other than saying you need to have it, talking, but there's nothing. They haven't helped me in any way. If you don't have your own principles as a human being, and you just go with the wave with everything everyone's doing, then how do you build your own legacy? That's why I like your example, Nelson. Like you were saying, you're in that environment because you want a better life. You're not competing with anybody. You set your principles. You are literally creating opportunities for yourself. So you're not trying to say, oh, because my neighbor drives a Benz, I have to go drive a Benz, right? Or you're not saying, oh, because my wife's boss or my wife's friend, her husband takes her to different trips all the time, then you go do it. No, right? It doesn't work like that. I believe if anyone is subject to society, and follows everything society says, then they have no mind of their own. They have no principle. And I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't matter where they are. They will trickle that same thought process with your kids and put pressure on them. And then that's why you have kids in our original question, 18, 19, taking a picture, trying to pose with something they don't own, right? So that's how I see it. So I believe if anyone listens to society and wants to go according to the norm of society, I don't think they're going to grow in any way.
Right. And Nelson, what's your perspective on this question?
So yeah, I agree with him because honestly, if you allow society control the decisions you make as a person,
Mhm.
then you will make a lot of wrong decisions.
Yeah.
A lot of wrong decisions because I said earlier that people are unique. We have individual experiences, so you can't compare what because Mr. A is saying this means you should do it, or because he did it now means you should do it now.
Mhm.
Timing too is different for people. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Time and place. Yeah.
you yeah, time and place. So you need to have values and principles that you look at, like goals you set for yourself, reasonable goals you set for yourself
Yes.
that you achieve as a person. Okay, I get to this point and I'm happy I did this, I did this. Not comparing yourself with others, always being competition with yourself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you already have these principles and values as a person, because my friend has a Lamborghini now, doesn't mean I should have a Lamborghini now.
Yeah.
We'll ride it as Lambo together.
Right.
You get we
Yeah.
love. So yeah, boy, if you're an envious person or greedy person, you put yourself in the wrong light and you
Yeah.
find yourself trying to achieve what you really can't
Right.
at the time. You see young boys these days, 15, 14, they don't want to go through the process.
Mm.
They don't want to go through the process of actually growing. They just want to start spending the money.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you find them doing things they shouldn't be doing. So yeah, you need to have values as a person and be strict with the values, or else you find yourself copying others.
Yeah. If I should give a very different example to that, certain society say we blacks, we are what? Aggressive. We're this, we're that,
Mhm.
when they don't even know who we are.
Mhm.
So are we going to say because they say we are this and we're that, bad names to say, we start acting like that?
Mhm.
Then we are conforming to exactly how they want us to be.
Right.
But we know we're not that. We know the names they call us, we're not that at all. So we grow above that. We're
Right.
not, and because we grew above that, we're not growing above that to rub it in your faces and be like, see, I told you, I'm way better than that. No, you're doing it for yourself because you know you're not that. If we take it back to say school days where they say, oh, because you never answered a question, you're dumb, and you literally say, okay, because they said I'm dumb, I'm gonna be dumb, and I'm not gonna increase in knowledge.
Mhm.
I mean, well, good luck to that man. You remain dumb, and then you become a burden to everybody around you, right? So I don't believe, yes, they say it takes a village to raise a kid, blah blah blah, but you got to be sensible as a man and woman.
Yeah.
You build your own principle, you learn, you pick out the good ones and you attach that to a principle and build on it. You make it, you refine it, but
Right.
not just because society says by 25 you got to be married, 3 kids, 2 houses, 2 cars, and every vacation you're out in Dubai or wherever. Well, I'm sorry. Well, bankruptcy is a word. They will know that very soon.
Yeah, I'm going to take you back again to the issue of pressure. Yeah, I understand everything that's been said so far. You need to have your own principle. You have to, define your own goals and set your own plans and your timeline. But even at that, the pressure is still there at the back of your mind
The
because
pressure is getting worse.
exactly you're still in the society. You grew up in the society. Even if you want to take it to the place of the blacks, but the blacks also say you need to work harder. You need to be a model citizen. Even if you want to be yourself, you still want to be that model citizen. You always want to work harder. There's that pressure at the back of your head. So the question is, I'm going back to that same question. Does society also have a hand in putting pressure on people to keep up with the Joneses? Because yes, keeping up with the Joneses is competition, but on the other hand, it's still about how you're able to reach that state of actualization. Because everyone wants to actualize at some point in time, and to actualize, you're going to need your own house, be independent, be free, be able to take your own decisions and responsibilities, and everything you're doing in this life is working towards that self-actualization, which itself is a pressure. So I'm saying the society as well needs to look at itself instead of saying don't keep up with the Joneses, but at the same time putting pressure on you to keep up with the Joneses? Does society need to, scale back the kind of pressure they're putting on people?
And
that's the question.
What makes up a society?
Yeah,
And I will answer exactly.
Yeah.
So if I come to you, right, and I say, why aren't you doing this? Okay, you have this. Why aren't you doing this? Putting pressure on you, right? Let's assume you wanna buy landed properties, and I say, why haven't you gotten that? You're this age and you still haven't gotten that. And whether I say it as a joke or I mean it, it's totally your choice.
Yes, but if 1 million yous, 1 million
Right.
of you are not coming to tell me why have you not gotten this?
And if I want to be sarcastic and respond, I'd be like, why haven't you helped me with it? Right?
Yeah.
Since you want to put the pressure on me to say, I need to get this, blah, 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 a million of me telling me that. And I got to look back and be like, okay, you are very invested in my future. So I need to understand how you can also help me get there. Because if you can't help me get there, right? And it's just word. You're just speaking to me. Your words mean nothing if you're not putting your hands in it to help me get there. Right?
And those 1 million people will come back and say, look, you need to set your own goals. You have to prioritize, you have to save, but make sure you get it. Make sure no matter what you do in this life, make sure you get it. Because they're not giving you a timeline. They're just saying, make sure you get it. Make sure you get your own house. Make sure you buy your own land. Make sure you have your own car. Make sure you're independent. How you want to do it, they don't care.
Right.
But that pressure now is now at the back of your head. Yeah, some people say it's drive, determination, but it's still a pressure.
And I'm gonna be like, then I'm gonna say, buddy, thank you so much. I appreciate your investment and your concern about my life. But you say I need to get this at a certain age. Now I gotta ask you the same question. Did you get everything you have at that age you want me to get it as well? Right? I believe free will is a thing. It is a thing. Not that I believe it is a thing. We can decide to say, if a million of me keeps telling me, oh, you need to get it. You got to say blah, blah, blah. You need to get it. But there is no input as to helping me. I'm not even saying financially, right? Maybe words of encouragement. As some folks will say, some generations will say words of affirmation. And none of that. Oh, you don't have it yet. You got to get it. Well, thank you very much. I will when I want to. Have a good day, right? So again, it boils down to you thinking for yourself as a human being, as an individual, as an entity, to say, let's put it that way. If you want to succumb to society, you got a choice. If you say you don't want to succumb to society, it is also your choice. But you got to remember one thing. Whatever you do, whatever consequences comes out of whatever you do, it's going to fall back on you and not the 1 million people telling you, you got to get it done. They're not going to bear the burden for you. They're not going to, carry the burden for you. If you get 5 years in jail for tax evasion, they're not going to be like, well, I'm going to do 2.5 and the other person do 2.5. Same people will come back and be like, see, I told him to get that. And now I knew it was a bad person. Hence why I did this. Where is he rushing to? That's the thing they're going to say. Where are you rushing to? Right. But they rushed you. But now where are you rushing to? That's the next question. My opinion, you can be 1,000 of me or 1 million or whatever to tell me to do something. It is still my choice to want to get it done or not. And if I want to succumb to society, again, I am of the opinion that I am not a man of my own self. And there is no way I can build a legacy. So, because I will teach my kids to do the same. Oh, when you go to school, if you see someone running, don't ask, just run. What if they're running to their death? So I'm going to follow and run to my death? No. So it is my opinion. I will not. If I want to succumb to society, I will. If I don't want to succumb to society, I will not. So if you want to be, and the thing is, I believe maturity comes with that as well. Right? Let me put it that way. So let it not be like I'm being too aggressive on the matter, but maturity comes with that. You got to be able to think for yourself. Right. If you're not matured enough to understand that they're just like you said, there's steps. You got to follow the process, if at all there is a process, because nowadays I don't even know what the process is anymore. But if there's a process, you follow, you do the right thing, you play your cards right, you do everything within the legal parameters of whatever you're trying to achieve. and not society coming to say, man, oh, you're this, you're not married, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, do you have a wife for me then? Right?
Yeah.
So if you want to, if you're very invested in my life as a society, then you must be willing to actually contribute to my success. If really you're invested in my well-being, then contribute, not just financially.
Right.
That's about it.
Fair enough. Nelson, what's your take on this situation or this conversation we're having so far?
So yeah, I agree with Stanley about asking the person to contribute physically to to whatever it is they're saying it doesn't have. But then you need to understand that first off, you can't please everybody in life. You can't even
Thank
please
you
people.
very
You
much.
shouldn't try. And secondly, there is really nothing that you can do that people will be satisfied. Somebody somewhere will say you didn't do enough. Somebody somewhere will say you did too much. Somebody somewhere would not even recognize you. So, so about life, to each his own is my own principle. About life, to each his own. If this is what you think is best for you and you believe is what's best for you, makes you happy, be my guest and do it.
Yeah.
If you want to let society decide for you, please go ahead.
Right.
I just realized that the word society is a trigger for me.
Because Silva, you know why I'm saying it like this? Because
why?
Society is not just 1 million people. We, the people we live with, you see aunties, your uncles, they are looking at you. Oh, you don't have a job, you're 25, go and get something doing, go and learn a trade. You're not doing this, you're not doing well enough. You should go and get married. Your immediate society might even be stressing you and putting this pressure on you.
Yeah.
So I mean,
right. That's what I was talking.
you need to know how to block it off, or else you
right. Yeah.
Right.
And when therapy wouldn't help, because you're back to the exact same environment you needed therapy for. So
exactly. So that's why that's the main thing here, because we talk about keeping up with the Joneses and faking it till you make it. And I think that the reason why some people fake it till they make it is because of the pressure that society has put on them. Like you just rightly said, Nelson, and Stan, really, to be fair, your immediate society, the home, people that are around you, you go to school, you go to university, all the same thing. You go to work, all the same thing. Like everyone has been, I would say, socialized to the point where they just keep spewing the same narrative to everyone. And no wonder it seems like there are more depressed and anxious people in this society now than ever. I don't know if that is true, because obviously there was no data back in the day to support, but obviously since data have been recording, now is the time when people are more anxious, more depressed because of all of these points and factors. So I think the bottom line is to be your own person, set your own goals, don't cheat unless you have the skills to back it up. That's what we've established so far. Yes.
Just don't cheat in general. It's wrong.
Don't cheat in general.
Stay away. Yes, unless you have things to back it up. You are developing yourself, then you can cheat, right?
No, do your formation.
Don't go develop to cheat. Don't cheat in life in general. Just
don't cheat in life. Just overinflate certain things or exaggerate certain things.
Be a part of information. Be a part of information.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me put it this way.
Right.
Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Okay. There's you have resources available now, so just educate yourself and be better.
Right. So if you're looking for if you want to be a project manager, you've only worked on one project, don't say you've worked on 10, right?
No.
Just say 3.
No. Okay. and if it's only one you've worked on, maybe just say only the thing you do. Don't write that you were the head of the project, if you were right. Yeah, you have to be honest.
Yes. And if we should put words of wisdom in a way.
Yeah, put words of wisdom, please.
I've come to realize in life, after making so many mistakes, that the truth honestly will set you free. It will make things work out in ways that you don't imagine, just by being honest and being yourself. If you try to because you can't live a lie. You have to be, geez, you got to be really good at doing that, and that's just very exhausting. But being yourself, you're free.
Yeah, but that's what fake it
So-
till you make it is. They will fake it, and after they've made it, they will not talk about the parts they faked. They only talk about the parts that they made.
And then they go in a TED talk and be like, you know what, I did blah blah. No. You don't encourage people that way.
You just said something that and got me. I remember some dude faked it and made it, and he was doing TED talks until the FBI caught up with him. Real life story.
See, there is nothing hidden
life
under the
story.
sun. I am of the opinion there is nothing hidden under the sun. It doesn't matter how long it takes; it will catch up with you. Your example about the person selling off a stadium.
Mhm.
Now we know about it. Is it hidden now? No, everyone knows about it, right? So again, my from life experience that I've seen,
Yeah,
just stay true to yourself.
right.
And if people don't accept you for being true to yourself, then well, thank you and good luck to you, right? It's your life. I carry my cross, you carry yours. That's about it.
Nelson, any last
Yeah.
words?
No, nothing to top up wisdom. Wisdom has everywhere. Stay true to yourself.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
Right.
my motto, anyways. For those that know me, I'm always true to myself.
Yeah.
You get me.
Right. I would say thank you, Stan. Thank you, Nelson, for coming to support the podcast and give your takes on things. Hopefully, we have some more sessions like this in future. If you've enjoyed our content so far, please like the video, subscribe, leave your comments on faking it till you make it, keeping up with the Joneses and societal pressures in the comment section, or on our socials at Dr. Toves Corner on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and at It's Dr. Toves Corner on TikTok. Until the next time, use your brain. Yes,
Dr. Toves.
Yeah, now
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.